Yo, what's up guys, Jid here. Welcome to the second episode review. Just like with the first one, I'll be going through some behind the scenes stuff, or making off, however you want to call it. Right from the beginning, you can see that I added this little bouncing animation, not just to Jidrof, but to every character that is speaking in each scene. This was inspired by a suggestion in the comments of the first video that showed me the But Really Fast series. The series uses a very energetic and frantic animation style that I adapted a little bit with this head bouncing that I think adds a lot of movement to mainly the dialogue scenes where everything is just sitting still and there's just one character speaking. It also helps identifying who's speaking. So first scene in the episode is the battle against the Unkegs. Originally the battle would be the whole second episode, but I decided to fuse it with what was supposed to be the third episode, because to make the battle the whole second episode would take too long to make all the drawings, and it would be a super short episode. It just wasn't worth it. So I decided to just mix them both up, just like I'm doing with what was supposed to be episode 4 and 5, they're becoming episode 3. And I think it ended up looking nice like this. I just described the whole battle, trying to be faithful with the initiative order, giving this little deep animation inspired by the Song of Ice and Fire lore, history and lore of Westeros, that are little short animations available on YouTube, and I think they are originally from the DVD extras from the series. So to make the scene, we had a production challenge of calculating exactly how big the drawing would have to be so that we can zoom in without having the risk of everything getting pixelated. So here's a little sketch, screenshot that I took from when we were trying to calculate how big things are. So normally we draw everything in 4K and the videos are uploaded in 180p, so that if I have to zoom in the assets, because they are made in 4K and being presented in 180p, they won't appear pixelated. But because the rest of the scenario had to be zoomed in more than just 2x, they had to be bigger than just 2K. And I think the biggest drawing in this first scene is like 8K. I tried to make some fancy editing, making the camera go through Lamia's whip circle thing, but then she didn't have enough pixels or resolution for me to do such a big zoom on her without her getting pixelated, so I just gave up on that. But talking about Lamia, you can see she has this super fancy effect with her magic missiles, where the projectiles are these swordfishes, her whip turns into this watery thing, which was inspired by the new Castlevania animation that is on Netflix. And meanwhile, we have Galvar that has a very simple magic missile thing. And that's because I didn't really remember how his magic missiles looked like, so I went to his player and asked, and he said, "Oh, I don't remember exactly, it was just something very plain." And of course, the second he said plain, thinking that he's a mathematician, I had to just do something about it to also give a little bit of flavor for Galvar. The first thing I thought was about airplanes, but those don't exist yet. Immediately after, I was like, wait, plane. It's like a plane, a surface. So I talked to Shu that was making Galvar's magic missile, and then we decided to add this little particle effect of square meters next to it. So yeah, I hope Galvar's player is happy with this plain magic missile. So you can also see that there is a giant crystal back here, and this is a little bit of lore of my own universe. Gravity crystals that mages and sorcerers and artificers spread across the world after the passage so that the planet just wouldn't collapse, because losing half of the planet does affect gravity, right? So you need something to keep it stable. And then I have to remember you all that Galvar's player is a actual mathematician, and he has also had some classes with astrophysicists. So he told me that normally when a planet or moon, anything loses a chunk of its mass. Normally gravity forces it back into a spherical shape. We're just gonna ignore that, okay? We have gravity crystals and everything is fine. And the planet also looks cooler if it's just like half a sphere with a little edge. Okay, so this was the funniest scene to relive watching the session's recording, because we had Johnson's player really invested in the roleplay of the pissed off paladin that couldn't fathom the fact that the guards were so irresponsible to let them take care of everything, while the rest of the table was like, oh, with the whole scolding, including myself. And that's why I added this little Jidra face up here in the corner, because that was me in real life while I was trying to hold my laughter back and trying to interpret the ashamed Captain Banner. Now this is my favorite frame from this episode, the loot-hungry eyes that I believe most D&D players have incorporated in their characters. I believe Maling and Lamia were the first ones to say they wanted to loot, and then quickly Valendras and Galvar were like, yo, me too! And so I also decided to make a little Monster Hunter reference by making them carve the monster here in the background. Monster Hunter being one of my favorite video game series, I just felt it was a good opportunity that the players are looting a big monster, so okay, let's make them carve the monster just like in the game. So we reach the end of the episode. Sarah resolves the conflict between Captain Banner and Johnson, and then they finally start introducing themselves to one another. This was already like 2 hours into the first session, or 1.5 hours, something like that. And then the characters finally start talking to each other properly. And then we have this interaction where Kefira recognizes Valendras from laughing at her joke, and Lamia talking about how she was the one that charmed Valendras to force him to laugh. Right. So, I only started recording the first session when the battle started, which means everything that happened in the first episode was all from memory, was all from, oh, I remembered that the session started like this, and that these little interactions happened, but I don't remember exactly because I don't have the recording. So, I was a bit confused with which spell did Lamia use to charm Valendras. I texted Lamia's player, and he said he also didn't remember exactly. I checked Lamia's spell list to see if she had a command spell, and maybe she used command laugh. But no, Lamia has no command spell. Lamia has no spell in that same school of magic. And how did she charm Valendras? It's a mystery. Talking to Lamia's player, he said that maybe by being a Kalashtar, he ended up talking telepathically with Valendras to make him laugh, but that also doesn't make any sense because they didn't knew each other back then, so why was she talking to someone she didn't know? It's a mystery. Lamia just randomly used command spell laugh without even knowing the spell once in the first session and never again, and that's just it. Yeah, and that's all for this episode. As I said, the episode 3 will basically be a fusion between the original episode 4 and 5 script, and in the meantime I said I was going to be doing live streams, and that didn't happen. Well, I asked my friends to watch a test live that I made, so they could give me feedback, see if the sound setup, if the video setup was all good. It kinda was, but they said that my live was freezing a lot. I didn't understand how, because OBS was saying I didn't drop any frames, my internet was good. When I went to check, it really was looking like a PowerPoint presentation with 1 frame every 5 minutes or something. The audio was still good, but the video was completely frozen. And then we found out that maybe my 10-year-old graphics card isn't the best to play and stream Baldur's Gate 3 at the same time. It actually barely manages to play Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, now I'm planning to buy a new PC. I'm trying to see if I can get a hold of it by mid-October or something, but A new PC is a big investment, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, just wanted to give this little update. If the PC arrives at mid-October, you guys will know through my socials. So check out the link 3 in the description to follow there and get updates. Not that I do a lot of updates, because social media marketing is very not much my passion. But yeah, if the PC arrives and I start live streaming, I will find a way to notify y'all. Maybe make a shorts video here on YouTube, because apparently shorts are very much loved by the algorithm, so maybe I'll do that. If not, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.